Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in the world and whenever you are tuning into this video. My name is James Porcelli.
And this asshole is Thomas.
And welcome to another edition of the Ruthless Talk Podcast. Once again, it is another week and another jam-packed show. Today, at least as far as wrestling is concerned, we got the fallout of WrestlePalooza, and some ESPN executives are not very impressed of how WrestlePalooza went down. And we got some AEW to talk about. We got the fallout from AEW All Out to talk about. Just some positives and some negatives as far as some takeaways from the show. A little bit about AEW Dynamite as well, and seeing what the trajectory of AEW is right now as well. They also introduced brand new championships, and we're going to talk a little bit about that as well to see if that's going to really help anything as far as the AEW product is concerned, and a bunch of other stuff that we have in store for you guys today. Of course, always stay tuned for the Sports Corner edition that we will be recording very, very shortly. Of course, you guys see the banner down below. Make sure you guys follow us on Instagram and TikTok, Ruthless_Talk, if you guys want to check out all of our episodes, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, as well as on YouTube. I want to thank all of you guys as well. We are very close to 500 subscribers on YouTube. So thank you guys so much. I think that number right now is 479, I believe. So we are 21 subscribers away from that milestone. So make sure you guys tell a friend, tell a loved one to make sure that you subscribe to our platform. But thank you guys to everybody that has already. Absolutely. Thank you to everybody that has already subscribed and, of course, been a part of the platform from quite some time. And, of course, always stay notified. Now with our new format, every single Friday, you guys will be getting episodes. So always stay tuned for more content to come. And also, before we get into this episode, if you guys did not check out the very last episode, which was a PLE review. That's right. I did a solo show on WrestlePalooza. Broke everything down. Brock Lesnar and Cena, Stephanie and Io Sky, the mixed tag match, the main event between Cody and Drew McIntyre, everything in my full honesty, I guess, if you want to call that, the only way I know how to, which is pretty much ripping WWE to shreds, justifiably so, at least over the last several months, freaking years, honestly. But that review is up right now. If you guys have not checked it out yet, definitely check out that episode before you come back and check out this one. So there's a lots to get into. But let's start off with kind of where at least I left off from the review show for WrestlePalooza, and that is ESPN and being very, very clear, at least as far as how they felt about this show, right? This is their big first show. They've given WWE all of this money, freaking Mark Shapiro, all of these executive suits and ties, and they say, yeah, we're going to make WrestlePalooza bigger than a WrestleMania or a SummerSlam. And ESPN's like, all right, let's see what you got. And we watched this show and we know how that all turned out. It was pretty just mid. It was just a very mid to subpar show, if we're all just being honest. And that's exactly how ESPN felt when one of their executive writers put out an article giving out a grade for WrestlePalooza. And it was a C. Last time I checked, a C is pretty an average grade, correct? That's pretty much just straight average, which, again, that's pretty much been the narrative of what this show was, which was just a very average show. And I'm telling you, man, and this is something that WWE is constantly doing, to where WWE is constantly burning bridges by the day. They've already burned bridges with Fox. We already know how that deal turned out. USA Network is already on the outs as far as, working now with SmackDown. They were with Monday Night Raw, and now their last-ditch effort to work with WWE is now with SmackDown. Those numbers are also going back as well as with Netflix. They're going to find a loophole at some point because their numbers are not getting any better. And even now, ESPN already, it took one single show for them to publicly
be honest. Be honest.
Exactly.
Right.
It
was the truth.
Absolutely. Just full out honesty and full on said, yeah, this show was just not what we expected it was going to be. It was very average because of how much Mark Shapiro hyped it up. Yeah, it's going to be like WrestleMania and SummerSlam, when in reality it was just another Saturday night's main event. Honestly, it was just a glorified house show. Now, granted,
with I don't know, probably, I don't know what you say, 20, 50 million, $1 billion pumped into it. That's the only difference.
Yeah, absolutely. So, look, man, I mean, everything that I mentioned in the review for this show, everything that ESPN and this writer that put out this statement about how they felt about WrestlePalooza just tells you everything you need to know, man. I mean, you go down the line from what that show was this past Saturday with Brock Lesnar and John Cena to where the whole match, I mean, not even the matchup, Brian. I even said this just from the last episode. It really wasn't the match. I expected everything that was going to transpire during the matchup, but it was how you build everything to the said matchup. You know, the build and how it was set up. It was just so just effortless. It was effortless. You know, giving no story whatsoever, nothing to latch onto. It was just Brock Lesnar just doing what Brock Lesnar wants to do. That's just the story. The same story that he dealt with Cody Rhodes after WrestleMania 39, right? You know, then you had Stephanie and Io Sky. Yeah, they put on a decent matchup, but let's face it, it was a face versus face match. And Stephanie was crowned the champion. I think ESPN did praise the matchup for how good of a matchup it was between those ladies. You know, you had a tag match between the Usos and Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. It was just a tag match. With, you know, they had no choice but to, at the last minute, insert LA Knight as the special guest referee, which is why you got all the extracurricular activity. Then you go into the only thing that probably anybody had any interest in this show, which was AJ Lee making her in-ring debut. And boy, did she not, didn't miss a single step from where she was 10 years ago.
Lee. Yeah.
She fucking killed it. And again, with the work that Becky Lynch and Seth are doing together as a tandem, whatever. But again, the only thing that people had any sort of just investment towards as far as the show, and then you get to the main event between Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre, an outcome that we already knew what was going to happen. Cody Rhodes was going to defend that championship against Drew. However, no cliffhanger, no Randy Orton, no surprise shocking moments, nothing. Oh, no, never mind. You got a shocking moment. You got Stephanie McMahon inserted into the Hall of Fame when we're 7 to 8 months out from the Hall of Fame. That was your big surprise out of the whole night. And WWE suits and ties and other people are taken back like a C. Like what makes them want to grade this show a C? Well, maybe it's because, and Brian, you just said it earlier, they're just honest. Because they paid a boatload of money to WWE, WWE blowing the show out the water for how big of a show this is going to be. It's going to be bigger than SummerSlam. It's going to be bigger than WrestleMania. And they watch this show and they're like, that's it? And we want to be shocked and taken back from this grade? Absolutely not. And again, man, this is just another bridge that WWE is eventually going to burn, because give it time for Netflix, man. They are going to find a loophole to where they're not even going to wait 5 years, because they have, after 5 years, they have an opt-out to get out of that contract. They will not wait 5 years. USA Network is already on the outs. Frickin' Fox, they want nothing to do with WWE anymore. And you're going to continue to go all of these other corporations, all of these other people to do business with, till you have nothing left. Because ESPN, it took them one show for them to say, yeah, this was average. And yes, it was very, very average. Not just to me, not just to Brian, but to a lot of people, to where a lot of people, for the amount of money that are putting into this product, not just us fans, but to ESPN themselves and Disney, to where they expect again, not a perfect product, not everything to be spectacular, but to at least have something to latch onto. There was hardly anything. And ESPN's like, listen, dude, either y'all pick it up, or this relationship that we got, it may end sooner rather than later. So, Brian, I know that was a lot, But what are your takes, man, as far as what ESPN had to say about WrestlePalooza?
Real talk, man. I'll start, and forgive me, I can't remember the journalist's name from ESPN, but like, I don't know, WWE, wrestling fans in general, what the fuck are y'all talking about? This is a actual journalist that does this for a living, working for an entirely different company, who gave honest critiques of what we all saw, or if you watched it, I guess,
Absolutely, yeah.
And the idea that, the neckbeard, WWE fandom, the Triple H, look, I've been saying this for years, man. If you cannot look at WWE in totality and what the executives, Triple H, Nick Khan, Stephanie McMahon, if you cannot fundamentally understand what they're doing, and draw those parallels for what is happening in the larger scope of things, you literally have the CEO at photo ops with the White House with Linda fucking McMahon. Fuck you. And then you have the same guy, Triple H, who is going to sit up there and right. The real wrestling fans are the people that can spend $5,000-$10,000 to go to your bullshit event. Both of them. And to the point that we're in the society where instead of Triple H and you hit the nail on the head too. The big surprise moment was Stephanie McMahon being inducted into the Hall of Fame, which is 9 months, whatever, away.
7 to 8 months away.
Right. To celebrate. And great. She has contributed to wrestling overall. Sure.
Absolutely.
But to take that moment away, we're at your biggest, or what you're trying to make bigger than WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And right, you're still propping your own bullshit up. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, bro. I think a C was probably generous.
Generous, very generous. And I said that was the very first thing that I mentioned, bro. We talk about like people taking a step back, or like they were taken back of like giving WrestlePalooza a final grade of C, and I'm like, bro, they're being generous, bro.
This shit,
for
that
them
was a
to
fucking
give
F.
I 100%, dude. They are generous to even give this show.
I mean, granted, right? You guys ain't ever going to give a shit. No matter what happens, you guys are going to go back home and fucking bathe in your $100 bills. Fuck y'all.
100%, man. I mean, Andreas Hale, that was the writer that made
Andreas
this.
Hale. Shout out to you, man.
Shout out to him.
Yeah,
but also,
absolutely.
But also, man, he was very.
On that, man.
Yeah, but like we said, he was probably also very generous in this type of statement that he gave this show.
Right, and now the idea, and I don't know how ESPN is going to handle it or whatever, but this world we're living in, because certain people are where they're at, and you're right, ESPN and Mark Shapiro, they put a boatload of fucking money into it. So who are they going to get rid of? That one journalist that told the truth. What the fuck? Come on, man.
Yeah,
Come on,
man. It's like
WWE. I put Stephen A. Smith up there to be his fucking bobbleheaded dumbass self. Fuck y'all.
Yeah, it's just, it's like, Triple H, Nick Khan, all of these people that, they don't listen to, the internet wrestling audience, right? They don't listen to the certain demographic. We just want to
they listen to the neckbeard part of it. Oh, yes, they do. Yes, the fuck they do.
But we listen to the live audience, because they've said that. We listen to the people who are live in attendance watching these shows. But the problem is, and yes, like you said, Brian, are there some, neckbeards out there that will bitch and moan for the sake of it? Absolutely.
Sure.
But as a billion-dollar conglomerate company like WWE is, you have to listen to the substance of what people are saying. Like, listen to what they are actually saying, right? Like, listen to them.
The money is way too much.
Exactly.
They
But
won't.
this company, dude, is so in over their head, and it's gotten to the point to where now even ESPN, to where they now make this statement, they put out this public statement of grading this show a C, right? Which again, if you go back to any sort of grade school, that's an average. And then that's just flat out being generous, if we're all being honest, if we watch
Yeah,
this
yeah.
show. So again, man, we look over to people like Triple H and Nick Khan, so we're like, oh, we don't listen, to the people that are negative, right? That are negative about the product, right? Everything is great. Everything
AKA
is
the truth. Yeah.
absolutely, right? Everything is great. Look at all this money that we're making. Look at all the noise that people make in the live attendance audience. But every single metric that Nick Khan and Triple H, both of them, everybody involved, they do not want to look at all of the metrics that are going backwards. And even ESPN is telling you that they are not impressed with all of the money that WWE that you got from them. And they're saying, hey, we're not getting a return on our investment already. Y'all need to pick this shit up because we were not impressed with the show that you put on. That's just the truth. And that's
Yeah,
just being
yeah.
honest. And that is everything in this one statement, Brian. This is everything that I've said, that you have said,
Yep.
everybody that has said about this product for the longest time. And that is
A
just, it's
long
not
time. It's
good
been a
enough.
long time coming.
It's
Yeah.
not good enough, man. And even ESPN has to come out with this statement, and we're shocked. We're taken back by what by this writer, Andreas Hale, had to say about this show. Come on, man. If we're being honest with ourselves, the show was nothing more than a glorified house show outside of AJ Lee, because that was the only real suspense out of the entire show.
I do have to, because I saw, again, we're talking about the, and right, the internet is going to be the internet. But I did, and I shared it on our Facebook page, like, wrestling fans, like, right, I get it. We're all coming into this. Maybe you're 2 decades behind me, and right, you're just being introduced. I understand all that, but I saw a post regarding that, like, the match had to go this way for Cena and Lesnar because John Cena understood he has to, you got to make somebody on the way out, and blah blah blah. Brock Lesnar, that's what. Like, I don't know what wrestling y'all have ever been watching, but number one, Brock Lesnar was already quote unquote made before the match with The Undertaker.
Yeah.
That whole thing was bullshit. The idea that match maybe made Brock Lesnar or cemented him, it did, in the fact that most true wrestling fans realized that wasn't the guy to do it. So if you want that, cool. But the idea that this match had to go this way because Brock Lesnar had to be put over and made, I'm sorry, I don't know what wrestling you're watching or what you understand fundamentally about wrestling. I don't get it.
Yeah, and there was reports saying that wasn't even the original finish for Brock Lesnar to go over. The original schedule plan was for John Cena to defeat Brock Lesnar the morning of the show. And we talk about ripping Vince McMahon apart for ripping up scripts last minute. But guess what? We won't say a word when it's Triple H and when it's these other WWE suits and ties that do such, right? And then we talk about the main event. So where there was a pitch that was made by Cody and Drew that Randy Orton would end up costing Cody Rhodes the matchup and would cost him the championship, and to have Drew McIntyre become the champion. Now, it would be 50-50 for me because, Cody Rhodes, he just won that title back at SummerSlam. But to ignite an Orton and Cody feud that doesn't even need a championship. And we talk about Drew McIntyre, who I always have mentioned that should be given the world. And if you were at least to have a way out for Cody and to make a moment for your first show on ESPN, hey, like, I think that C would be a pretty different story if that were to be the case.
According to H.
But apparently, WWE has it all figured out, right? They know how much noise people make, right? They know that they know how to appease the live audience, and no matter what, they're going to make all of this revenue. But understand, WWE, all of this shit that you're doing, is going to dry out. And you know what, Brian? Maybe that's what they're planning on doing, because maybe they're just sexing themselves up to where when there is nothing left for WWE to do, yes, there you go. They're going to sell it. And who they're going to sell it to? Probably Saudi. Most likely, honestly. Do not be shocked, man.
To your point of when all this dries up and shit and whatever, like, again, parallels in this world by who he is sitting next to and taking money from. Yeah, bro, those people, they ain't gonna be there forever, and shit's gonna change.
No, absolutely.
You're making your bed right now, and you're gonna have to deal with it 100%.
Absolutely, man. So it's just it's a shame, man. It really is. From productivity to how everybody is conducting business, to pricing out families, to pricing out a certain demographic, thinking that all of these price ranges are worth investing the current product to where if you look at WrestleMania tickets right now for this year's WrestleMania in Vegas, like we're talking $40,000, bro. You have to save up for a new house to just purchase freaking tickets for WrestleMania. That is fucking
insane. And the fact that, right, I guess if you're in that stratosphere where you got 40,000 to drop on a fucking 2-night event of bullshit.
By means, if you have that money, then freaking spend it, man. But if we're all being honest with ourselves, man, like when we look at this current product and how WWE is being operated, it's not worth investing. It's a massive money grab. Nothing. They continue
no
to
substance
show you
whatsoever. Just the money.
Absolutely. It's a shame, man, because like every time we want to, think of something positive, right? We want to take something from this company, but every which way, as far as what ESPN says and what Fox says and what the USA Network says, Netflix, and all of these other people that are telling you and us that what WWE is doing is not good enough. And we still find a way to give this company excuses and to justify the actions of what they're doing. And it's fucking bullshit, man. It just is, because you've said it
all around us every day.
Yeah. You've said it. I've said it for 2 freaking years, even way before pricing families out and everything that started. This product has been going downhill for a very, very long time. And now with ESPN, Netflix, they're now knowing firsthand, and they're going, yep, we're going to find a loophole because this ain't freaking working. And it's a shame because, again, we don't want to sit here. We don't want to, we don't want to be or prey on anybody's downfall as far as that is concerned.
Because the wrestlers out there, again, and you and I, dude, the ones out there that are trying their best to turn, chicken shit into chicken salad. Like, I do have a lot of respect for those people, and I want to see them succeed, man.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's just, it's a shame, man. It really is, So again, man, you take what this statement was made by Andreas Hell and giving this show a C, and you go down this card from Brock Lesnar and John Cena with no story, no setup, no reason for why Brock's even attacking Cena. No reason at all. You get a tag match that should have just been on a Monday Night Raw. I mean, let's just be honest, between Braun as well as the Usos. You had a decent women's match. It was a decent match between
nice moment and Stephanie Bakure.
Absolutely. Congrats to Steph.
Beautiful.
I wish nothing but the best for her. Absolutely. Yep. As I had a feeling that was going to happen. It was their first big show on ESPN. Yeah. And I said it from the jump.
Stephanie Bakure.
Stephanie Bakure. I don't even know what I said. Was it Stephanie Bakure?
I say it both times. Bakure. It's Bakure, but
Stephanie. Apologies to Stephanie for botching her last name. But even from that is concerned, like we go back to Evolution, and I said this in a review, like the way that they put her on a pedestal with Stephanie McMahon and having her talk in front of the live audience. Her English is actually getting a lot better. She's actually very good with her English. So hopefully, again, I wish nothing but the best for her. So you got that, you got the AJ Lee stuff, which again was the only type of real interest that you had into this show. And excitement, absolutely.
Anticipation.
And then you go into the main event, and it was just Cody beating Drew. It was a good match, but no cliffhanger. no real surprises, no real moments. And we expect ESPN to be satisfied. We expect anybody to be satisfied with the amount of
because
money
Triple
that
H said so. So why you just have to take his word for it, right?
Right. No,
Fuck y'all,
we just have to fuck off if we don't like it, right? We just got to fuck off like if we don't like the products. Yeah, fuck you. How about that?
Yeah. I mean, I did. I'll talk
A
about
lot
it.
of
I'm still
people
gonna
are.
fucking bury you, but I did
A
fuck
lot of
off.
people are, dude. It's Brian. Shoot, even me, dude. Like honestly, bro. Outside of the AJ Lee return, that was being suspense for that SmackDown, bro. I haven't watched a live SmackDown or Raw in months. Literally months. I do my due diligence and watch the show, the day after. But a live show, there's nothing for me to latch onto. There's no fear in missing out on anything of these shows because we know what's expected. We already know what the narrative is of how WWE is going to operate. And until they change that, which probably is never going to happen, then people are going to continue to leave by the droves. And it's continuing to happen. If you look at numbers, if you look at ratings, if you look at merchandise sales, everybody outside of the live attendance audience, at least for the time being, everybody is turning away in droves. And now ESPN WWE is telling you firsthand how they felt about WrestlePalooza. And it's not good enough. So figure it out or find somebody that can add a spark and some damn excitement back to these shows. And if Triple H can't find it, find somebody
actually
that will.
Maybe go back and listen to, I don't want to sit here and debate real fans, fake fans, whatever. But maybe you should be listening to the overwhelming majority who can no longer afford to go to the live attendance, because that is your bread and butter and always has been.
Yeah.
But go ahead and change that.
Yeah. It's a shame, man. It really is. And before we get into AEW, man, speaking of John Cena, who of course had his match with Brock Lesnar, but now another match has been introduced or has been announced, and that is for Crown Jewel, which is October 11th. And he's wrestling AJ Styles. That's right, AJ Styles, who also publicly announced that by 2026, AJ Styles is also going to be out of professional wrestling. So not only John Cena's on his retirement tour, but technically AJ Styles is on his retirement tour as well. So you got this matchup, right? And we talk about WWE and we go back to even Money in the Bank, right? When R-Truth, he came back and everybody thought, oh, it was a work, right? Triple H planned this all along. WWE planned this all along, right? What's going to be the narrative now? Like, oh, Triple H planned this matchup, forcing by their hand. They made this matchup. Let's not get it twisted. This was because John Cena, to where he publicly stated out to say, listen, I don't go to management for matches. I don't ask for matches, but I listen to my audience and people want to see this matchup. They talk about Cena and who they want to see him face. They mention AJ Styles. So that's what people wanted. And you can thank Cena for it, because Cena is the one that publicly went out
put the pressure on it.
Putting the pressure on WWE. Exactly. Because if not, bro, you would have probably seen John Cena face freaking
Brock Lesnar,
probably Brock Lesnar again. Honestly, you would have
that isn't over. I guarantee you there's another match or another something.
I do think with War Games, you're probably going to see Brock Lesnar in War Games, and John Cena is going to probably be a part of it. But I bet you, and you hit the nail on the head, that was probably going to be the plan for freaking Crown Jewel. It was going to be Brock and it was going to be John Cena again. But John Cena was like, hey, everybody, who do you want me to face at Crown Jewel? And a lot of people probably said AJ Styles. They put the pressure on Triple H and WWE, and the match is now official. But at Triple H's words, it's going to be like, oh, it's all part of the plan, right? It's all part of the plan. Show.
Yeah,
fuck off.
I was thinking about this. 2 years ago, I had this planned.
Right.
Fuck you.
Fuck off, man. Your back was up against the wall to make this decision, right? Like, let's not act like we're all going to now praise Triple H. Oh, thank you, Triple H, for giving us... Dude, stop. They were going to give us Brock Lesnar and John Cena at freaking Crown Jewel. Let's not BS ourselves, man. It's so stupid. So yeah, man, I just wanted to make that clear, because I know there's going to be a lot of people that are going to praise WWE
We
for this
got the
decision.
match. We're getting the match.
Like, oh, we're getting the match. We're so back. WWE is so back. Like, dude, they were put up. Their backs were up against the wall thanks to John Cena, bro. Oh, but it's supposed to be a work though, right?
Yeah.
It's a work because John Cena is publicly stating to the fans of who he wants to
right.
wrestle.
I got 5 fucking dates left. Who do you, my fans who have been with me for 25 years, who do you want to see me wrestle?
Right.
5 more appearances.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, Triple H.
Exactly, man. Exactly. It's like now we're gonna spin it to where like, oh, it was a work. They told John Cena, like, dude, shut the fuck up, man. Stop with this as a work, dude. They put Triple H and WWE up against the wall to make this freaking decision because we all know it was gonna be Brock and John Cena at Crown Jewel, and then for some other stuff for when War Games happens at Survivor Series, to where you're gonna probably see John Cena, probably a CM Punk, an LA Knight, Cody Rhodes possibly against the Vision, and Brock Lesnar. That's what it's probably most likely going to be. So I just got to say that, man, because it just drives me up a wall. So you got Cena, you got Styles. They're going to put on a banger of a match, I guess. And people are, and listen, it will be a good match and good for, and good for Cena. He wants to, I guess, go down the line with people that he wants to wrestle. And AJ Styles is one of them. AJ Styles doesn't have that much time. So it's for a Saudi match. So, I mean, no harm, no foul, I guess. And we'll see what happens as far as for what they have in store for Survivor Series War Games. I'll be honest, man. War Games is starting to get really like.
I don't want to say. I can't even imagine the clusterfuck that War Games this year in particular is going to be. That is just.
I mean, listen, with Brock Lesnar being in War Games, I mean, that sounds fun. I mean, we talked about creating chaos and doing all of this shit, man. But I do feel like, man, that the War Games match sometimes runs its course. But if you add somebody like Brock Lesnar that can maybe add another entity to the match for how
violent as fuck,
as violent as he is, then that could be fun. So at least in that aspect, if you want to do that, fine. But don't make it freaking like, or spin it to where like, this was planned for John Cena to talk to the fans, to ask the fans who he wants to wrestle, and people, and then, you make the idea that it was AJ Styles is what the people want. Like, no, stop. It was, no, man, enough. Anyway.
Well, I gotta say real quick to that, man, just as far as AJ Styles too, and the retirement and whenever that happens next year, man. And to this match, dude. I mean, look, I've made my thoughts about Cena, very clear. I respect the guy and what he's meant to this. He's an important figure in wrestling.
Sure.
AJ Styles is a legendary talent. And it's really unfortunate that, I mean, that's the way I look at it. Like, okay, we're getting this match at a fucking Crown Jewel with no goddamn story, no build whatsoever. It's unfortunate that it's happening this way. And the fact, and I can't speak for AJ Styles in particular and what he feels about his WWE career and whatever. And I'm not saying he's had a successful career. But me as a fan, and I like who I think we all should know at this, 20 years in, what AJ Styles has to offer. There's been just a lot left on the table in his WWE career with AJ. That again, you want to talk about deserved, earned, whatever. The guy is a legendary, one of, and a generational type talent. He is that good. And for what it could have been, I guess, in WWE, they left a lot on the table. And mainly because of fucking egos and bullshit. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
man.
Shout out to you, Cena and AJ. I'm sure you guys are going to go out in hell of a match, man.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. Like, right, I can't speak for them. But again, being professional wrestlers, this is the way you wanted it. Like, oh, this is no story, no nothing, no subs. Just we're going to go out and have a great match.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what I mean, man. It's just like, And I said it from the jump about Cena's retirement tour. I said it then. I'm going to say it now. I would have never turned him heel. When they turned him heel, bro, when we all, and as we expected, right? Especially if The Rock was never going to be a certain entity to that story, it was going to be
I think
fucked.
that's where it all fucked, that whole thing, because they never had a plan.
No,
No,
exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. When they decided to turn John Cena heel for how good the turn was in the moment, we all knew that if The Rock, obviously, The Rock wanted Cody to turn heel, but then Triple H and other W's like, no, let's turn John Cena heel. And The Rock's like, all right, this is your project, man, but don't expect me to like. I got other projects and stuff to do, but this is your hand, so we'll see how this goes. And we know how that freaking turned out. Not saying that Cody Rhodes should have turned heel, by the way, and The Rock should have been a part of this entire situation, regardless of what project he has outside of WWE. But make no mistake about it, man. This was a Triple H and WWE decision that fell flat on their fucking face. And I knew it since day one, because how anticlimactic when he won his 17th world championship at WrestleMania, outside of course the Travis Scott stuff, which was a fucking disaster. But even just the turn itself, man, it was too little too late. If you were going to turn John Cena heel, it should have been a long ass freaking time ago, not when he's on his retirement tour. And people are going to have this adulation for this dude. It's just, it wasn't going to happen. There was no good that was going to come out of it. And now you're seeing it firsthand.
That's where I go back, and I'm disappointed in myself, honestly, as a wrestling fan, because you go back to when that happened, and I've spoken about Cena, that initial thing, it had me hooked. Okay, maybe now I can get behind Cena. Let's see where this goes. But it's that right there, along with R-Truth and the photo ops that we're seeing. That's why, man. Like, it's clear as day. Y'all don't have a plan beyond, let's make the most fucking money we can from this event and then go on to the next one. And that's it.
Yeah, hit the nail on the head, man. Absolutely. So yeah, man, but much love to Cena, with 5 dates left remaining. He's got Crown Jewel, he's got 2 Raw events coming up in November, and of course Survivor Series, and of course Saturday night's main event, which is not in his hometown, by the way. I don't know why you would have a John Cena retirement tour and his last match is not in his hometown. I think that's just kind of weird. I don't even know where. I think it's in DC or something like that. It's a Saturday night's main event in December. That's going to be in DC.
Oh, well, good. They can. I'm sure they'll be in town for photo ops.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. And of course, much love to Styles as well. It sucks with Styles because, man, as much love and respect that I do have for Styles, and he's been a part of a lot of really good moments in this company for sure. But man, for the longest time, man, it's been hard to get invested to what AJ Styles has done in recent memory. It just really has, and it's hard to really. We say like, oh, well, just, enjoy while we still have AJ Styles. Well, it's kind of hard to do that when there's just nothing to latch onto to what he's doing. That's the problem. And it's the same kind of goes for John Cena, to where, like, ever since the heel turn, there's just been, how many times, Brian, have we seen like John Cena would cut a promo with Cody Rhodes, and then they would say things that the IWC would reiterate on freaking Twitter and social media, and then he gets laid out, and then that's the end of the segment. It was anticlimactic as fuck, and that was your build with Cody, with Orton, and with all of these people that he is right. Absolutely. It's a mess. It's been a mess, and with 5 dates left remaining, I'll try to latch on to something, but it's going to be hard to, man. It just is. So but enough of WWE, man. Let's get into some AEW. I wanted to make a separate review show for AEW All Out, but I did not have the time to. So I figured I'd at least give you guys my positives and negatives from the show. And of course, Brian, anything that maybe you saw. I know you probably watched Dynamite just the other night ago. But we'll kind of touch up on some things from AEW All Out. There was, of course, a lot of good things and a lot of baffling booking decisions. And I'll start off from the jump, and I won't break down all of these matches, man. But the positives, man, I mean, the first matchup of the night, which was the tag match with Cope and Christian and with FTR. He had Beth Phoenix come out to freaking take out Stokely. I thought that was
Big
freaking
Stoke.
great. Freaking Stokely, man. Listen, I was
man, he's growing on me so much, man.
I was gonna say, at least with the tandem 2 with FTR, I'm like, I don't know how this is gonna fit, but they're making it work, man. They really, really are. FTR goes over, so they continue to collect heat with their heel status along with Stokely. They took out Beth Phoenix once post-match was done. And then so Edge Cope is pretty much going to go on a hiatus after what you saw after the show was over. He's like, listen, man, like I need to get away from AEW, and I don't know when I'm going to come back. And no, guys, he's not coming back to have a final match with John Cena. It's not going to happen. His contract
is that out there in the? Is that being?
Yeah, no, dude, it's out there. I'm just like, when I heard this weird this weird assumption, like, are we getting Edge and Cena? I'm like, no. His contract does not end. Guys, he said this himself back in December 2024. His contract ends 18 months left. He has 18 months left of that contract from December of 2024. That's October of 2026. He's not going anywhere. He's getting written off TV to go film a television series, which I believe is called...
said so.
Right, yeah, because it's all part of Triple H's plan, right? Nor would Tony Khan, the freaking company that is trying to counter-program him.
Right.
They're trying to counter-program him and say, yeah, you could go over there and have a match. What the fuck are we talking about? Oh my God, these
critical thinking, man, it's so lacking.
Dude, you hit the nail on the head about critical thinking. It's just like, we don't want to put two and two together of how, like, the statements that we make, man. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, WrestleMania. Yep.
I mean, listen, I get it. Edge and Cena, like, I grew up watching that shit, man. I remember freaking again when Cena tossed Edge into the Long Island Sound, right? And when freaking Edge, he what was it? He took out freaking Cena's father, right? He freaking crashed into Cena's home and he took out his father. I remember all of that shit, man. I get it.
Kind of Cena hater I've been. That Edge and see that whole thing, that's probably the best, most invested I've ever been in Cena.
Right. Yeah. And that's what started my wrestling fandom. It was one of those storylines from the jump in the early 2000s, right? So I get it, man. But guys, like Brian, you said it yourself. You hit the nail on the head. Critical thinking, guys.
Critical thinking, man.
Go back to what Pope said. Yes, thank you, man. Tony Khan is not going to have somebody that's under his freaking umbrella, under contract, and say, yeah, you can go over to WWE, have a final match with Cena. What the fuck?
Make that money. Yeah, go ahead. Get those headlines.
Make it make sense. Yeah, you could, go make those headlines to the company that's trying to counter program us and say that they want to take us out of business. Yeah, go over there. The fuck? Oh my God, man. Anyway. We're off track here, man. Let's get back to AEW All Out. So, so listen, man. I mean, FTR and the work that they're doing, again, no issue with it. I like the heel heat that they're receiving. I have no issue with them taking the W over Cope and Christian, but it is going to be interesting to see where it goes, man. It seems like they're going to now be in a run-in with Jet Speed and with Kevin Knight after what happened on Dynamite. I don't know how invested I'm going to be into that, but at least what FTR is doing, hey, I can at least be down with that. MJF and Mark Briscoe. And Mark Briscoe wins, as I expected it was going to be. The match is what I expect it was going to be. And Brian, you said it yourself, man. It was very, and it kind of really got me thinking about it. It's like it really kind of, not saying that's exact, but it does have vibes of like Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair, blue collar, white collar type.
You could never recreate what Dusty and Flair did, but that's the vibe. Yeah,
there's some similarities to it. Yeah. And Mark Briscoe has this match, and now here's the thing. Now, Brian, now he's going to go back to the conglomeration, which I'm like. Okay, and then listen, I get it. There's most likely a ceiling for Mark Briscoe. Yes. I'm not saying this dude's got to be at the world title picture.
Right.
But hey, man, if you want to put this dude in and around the mid-card going solo, man, I have no issue with that. But for you to now have him go back and do the same exact thing now with the conglomeration with people like Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly and Hologram, fucking fucking hologram. Like, come on, man. It's just very like, what was the whole point? You know what I'm saying? For
Right. You just
MJF to
had
do the
beat
deed.
MJF in a big pay-per-view. I would say
Yeah.
his biggest victory since being in AEW.
Right.
And then right.
And now he's just going back to what he was doing before. Like there's no progression as far as where Mark Briscoe is going. And again, guys, I'm not saying he needs to wrestle for a world championship,
Nope.
but at least have him like, all right, now I'm on to bigger and better things. I want to get back to what I originally was originally planned to do, which was go after the TNT championship that MJF cost me. So that would make sense for him to say, hey, I want another crack at the TNT championship or something, not being back in the freaking conglomeration and doing all of this stuff. Now that still could be the case, but the whole conglomeration stuff, man, it's just like, for what Mark Briscoe did in this whole entire story, it's just beneath him, man. I'm sorry, it just is. But yeah, go ahead, Brian.
Does Fletcher holds that title now, right?
He does. Yes, he does.
And I know what they're doing. Yeah, he's gonna get to Briscoe. But I mean, did you see Dynamite?
I did see bits and pieces of it, yes.
And the conglomeration's out there, and Fletcher comes out and he challenges Hologram. So yeah, I mean, he's gonna go through the conglomeration, but like, right, there's no reason that Hologram, like, Briscoe just beat MJF. You start with Briscoe. Like, okay,
like start
right, Fletcher and Briscoe. Right.
Yeah, like the feud, like I'm sick and tired of like the feuds of like, oh, like in order to get to this person, he's got to run through everybody else, like in the conglomeration or in this faction. It's just like, what the fuck, man? So that's one. All right, the coffin match, right? Jon Moxley and Darby Allin. This one was 50-50 with me. Listen, I really like Jon Moxley a lot. I really do. I don't think he's given enough credit as far as what he does with the Death Riders and how he works as a heel. But this was very, very interesting, man, because we look back at All In, right? And that was pretty much, you can say, the end of a certain chapter for the Death Riders, right? And we look at somebody like Wheeler Yuta, who maybe might be still on the outs of the Death Riders, which is why Daniel Garcia is there. And, you know, Darby Allin, his first message was, hey, like, I'm going to take everything from you. So maybe the first step was to help Hangman take that title away from Moxley. And now the next step to take everything away from Moxley is the Death Riders himself. And you can see like the character development to where now Darby Allin is more unhinged more than ever. The dude came out with a freaking flamethrower, for fuck's sake. So let me say something about that, right? I really like it. I think it went on for a little bit too long. I think they dragged out that image and like that scene for a little bit too long. I would have done it for only maybe like 60 seconds. Like they constantly.
I didn't see it live, so I don't know. Yeah, how long did it go on for? I don't know.
At least for like several minutes by the end of the show. Again,
that's
love the idea.
That's how it ended, right? Is that how the show ended?
That's how the show ended. Yeah. I wouldn't have just drawn it out as long as they did to end the show, if that makes sense. But as far as the story with Jon Moxley and Darby, I have no issue with it. It seems like they're hinting an I Quit match from what a promo that Jon Moxley cut once the show was over with. So they're probably going to do that at Wrestle Dream. Pac made a return. So I hope, Brian, that if the story is about Darby Allin, you know, taking everything from Jon Moxley after taking him out and all of this stuff, right? The next chapter, because we thought we were going to see this with the Bloodline over in WWE, right? And if we're trying to compare that with Jon Moxley and, you know, the Death Riders who control AEW and they run everything, that now needs to be the next focal point of this story, right? So hopefully that's the case. So, you know, Darby Allin again, and I think there's a ceiling for Darby Allin as well. Again, I think he does have a lot of value, and I do think that he can bring a pulse to the show. But should this dude be like in the main event scene and wrestling a world title? No, not really. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I can't really see us. You know, you mentioned the I Quit match, and I don't know how that's. I don't think I could say how neither one of them are going to quit. Something's going to happen when they pass out or whatever. But like, I mean, the idea that Darby is going to make Moxley quit, and it's just no, it's not. That's not going to happen.
It's going to be interesting to see what they do, man. As far as that is concerned.
Yeah.
And then we move on, and that thing was the Hurt Syndicate, right? The Hurt Syndicate fought Ricochet and Gates of Agony. I think they're called the Demand or something like that. So Ricochet, they pick up the W over Hurt Syndicate. Now they pin MVP, which I'm 50-50 with, because I don't like the Hurt Syndicate just taking losses, right? Yeah. Especially for how very new the faction still is. But to where MVP is kind of like, the guy that is, trying to protect his henchmen, which is Lashley and Benjamin. So he's the one taking the hit for his boys to take the pinfall. So I can see that. However, man, we talk about now Ricochet and Gates of Agony, right? So now if you're giving them this victory, they have to now be catapulted. Like, you got to now build momentum with Ricochet and this faction. And what does Tony Khan do? They have them lose the very next Dynamite this past Wednesday to the tag champs. So then right then and there, they already look like losers after everything you just did.
Right.
This past show on All Out was really for nothing. Like, I don't understand that booking decision. It makes no sense at all. And if that's the case, man, you should have just had Hurt Syndicate just go over, if that's the case. So that frustrates me. That really, really does. So at least that's, I guess you can say, a negative as far as from the show is concerned. Hangman and Kyle Fletcher. Again, I didn't see the matchup. This was one of the few matches that I did not see, but I heard it was a good match, as I'm sure it was. But the match, man, from what my research tells me, was almost close to 40 minutes in length. 40 minutes, bro. Like, listen, man, I get it. We're trying to put Kyle Fletcher on a certain pedestal. We're trying to elevate Kyle Fletcher and make him look good in defeat. I understand, dude. But you're telling me, man, to where this Hangman has gone through wars with Swerve and with Moxley and all these people, and it's taking him 40 minutes to be Kyle Fletcher? Kyle Fletcher in 40 minutes, to where, like, we all knew underneath the sun, this dude, neither should he lose that championship from that show. So to go 40 minutes, man, it's just like, to blow your load like that, I think that was just a little too much, man, honestly. So again, I like Kyle Fletcher. I want to see more of Kyle Fletcher, and I hope that they continue to at least keep his momentum rocking even with this loss. Because again, he obviously lost nothing in the match. It was just the length of the match just went way too long. It should have cut that at least in half to like maybe 20, 25 minutes. I would have been totally fine.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah. And then we get into Mercedes. Mercedes, again, she defends her championship. No shock there. The matchup was fine. Again, Mercedes can wrestle a broomstick, and it would be freaking awesome. But again, man, it's just the fact that there's really nothing to latch onto as far as Mercedes goes, right? She wasn't even on freaking AEW Dynamite this past Wednesday. Maybe she'll be there for Collision. I don't know, because they're still trying to uplift Collision as their secondary show, supposedly. So Mercedes should obviously win this match, but you got to give her something meaningful for people, to latch onto. And let me just get into the women's title match, man. If there's a matchup that maybe I'm forgetting, I apologize, but I really want to hammer this home because, Brian, I do want to get to you eventually. The women's fatal four-way match. This was honestly, Brian, the one decision that really baffled me. Really, truly baffled me. So we're going into it, I'm like, all right, this is going to be a cute little fatal four-way. Everybody's going to have certain spots and certain moments in the match. And Toni Storm's going to come out the victor, because why shouldn't she, right? In a fatal four-way match, to where, like, all right, you want to give that moment to when Toni Storm drops that championship in a one-on-one feud that's meaningful. And they decided to take the title off of Toni Storm. And I'm like, what are we doing? Brian, I texted you. I was just like, and I didn't want to spoil it for you because I know how much you love Toni Storm. I was baffled. And now she lost it to Chris Statlander. Now let me get to Chris Statlander, right? I like Chris Statlander. And I see the character development that they're now opposing her now with the Death Riders. You had Wheeler Yuta, who's trying to get into her ear to, I guess, be a part of the Death Riders to bring a championship back to their side. So I get the whole situation. But the problem is, man, like, before all of that transpired for Chris Statlander, has there been anything to latch onto to Chris Statlander going into this match? There hasn't been. That's the problem, man.
Yeah.
And you do the disservice for Toni Storm to where she should be losing that championship on a grander stage to somebody who you have been uplifting for the past several freaking weeks and months. And then if you want her to be written off of TV, off of AEW television, that's fine. If that's the plan of what's going on, Toni Storm's gonna be written off of TV. You want to give her some time off, that's great, and she's fucking earned that time off.
Yeah.
But man, do the due diligence for Toni Storm to drop that championship the right way. Why in a fatal 4-way clusterfuck, dude? Why? Why would you do that, man? That makes no sense. And now we want to add character development with Chris Statlander as the champion. It's just, it doesn't make any sense, man. It doesn't. And listen, I'm wishing the best for Chris Statlander. I see the value that Chris Statlander has. But again, man, she hasn't been built properly while Toni Storm was the champion. If this was the case, Brian, then you should have just had her lose it all in. Honestly, if she was going to be given this time off, just give that belt to freaking Mercedes or to Athena, right? And then you have a heel champion in Athena. And then if you want to build a story with Chris Statlander and the Death Riders, then maybe give the championship to her. Now, granted, you're now flip-flopping champions, which I don't like, but you would have to you see, Brian, how this is all just a fucking mess, man. So I'll leave that to you, man. Just your overall thoughts of what you did see from All Out, and of course from Dynamite and everything as a whole, man. The floor is yours.
So, listeners, I'm probably kind of going to be all over the place and combining the All Out with the Dynamite.
Yeah.
But I'll start with Statlander. Since we're talking about that, like, man, our last episode, man, I literally I was like, man, I don't know. Like, I see Yuta out there and Statlander, and something's going to happen.
Right.
From as far back as when AEW started and when we started this podcast, I've always been a fan of Statlander. Like, I think that there's something there, and there always has been.
Sure.
But that you hit the nail on the head. Like, I know I've just kind of got back into watching AEW consistently over the past maybe 4 to 6 weeks here. But I'm looking at it, and I know who Statlander is, and I know where she's been, and I understand the relationship with Yuta, and I see this match being presented, and I'm listening to Toni Storm's promo, and I fucking knew it. And it's that thing where, like, this could be good. I want to see Statlander succeed and flourish in this. But you never did anything with her to get to this point.
No.
As far as putting her in, building her to be a champion, be that person.
Absolutely.
And now you're trying to backfill that.
Yeah.
And that's, man, like, I really, so the whole, again, Toni Storm losing it. Does she need time off? Whatever. I don't know the ins and outs, so I can't make a comment there. But you're right. If this was some sort of plan where we know, like, hey, we're going to take the belt off Toni, she's going to be out for a little bit. What is the best case scenario to get the belt off of this champion who has been so fucking good?
Seriously,
not a fatal 4-way.
No,
in a fucking roll up.
No. To another baby face, dude. Another baby face. Why? That should be dropped to another heel character. Why do you drop it? Have her drop it. And she got rolled up, by the way, Brian. The pinfall was a roll up. So she gets rolled up and she's just shocked. Like, oh my God. That's how you write off Toni Storm off of TV? By losing to another what the fuck? It's these decisions, Brian. We talk about WWE making these types of decisions. AEW, to where, again, I want AEW to be successful more than anybody. But it's these decisions, Brian, that just baffle me. And I'm just like, Tony Khan, why? Why would you do this, man? Yeah, it's just frustrating.
And so, and even with Statlander and who's Harley Cameron, I like that, man. I there's something there. I like it. it's just like, all right, man, like cross your T's and dot your I's with the storytelling. That's where you're lacking right here, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'll kind of go back because there were so many like fucking returns. Pac, great to see Pac back.
Pac,
Really,
yeah. Pac,
great to see him back. Jack Perry. As much shit as I've given Jack Perry, and I know and here we go. We're going to start the Jurassic Express, which was, I like the Jurassic Express. I think that was a very early on something that a wrestling organization needs, a tag team like that, right?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Jack Perry in particular, like I'm looking at him and look, if y'all don't know who his father is, you should. He's another guy. Very, yes, he's a small dude. Is he ever going to be like main event? Like I'm the world champion, no, probably not.
No.
But and he still has a lot to learn. And yes, he, did some dumbass shit. Maybe he has grown and matured. Mm-hmm. But I'm looking at him. He's a good storyteller. He can tell, like with just his facial expressions, he's got something. Like like he can be.
I think
again, he doesn't need to be the WWE or the AEW champion, but he can be a very successful, valued wrestling star.
I think he really found that when he was in that feud with Christian not too long ago, when Christian was starting that whole father gimmick, that patriarch gimmick, when that first ignited. I do think that that's what really helped elevate Jack Perry's game a lot. And like you mentioned, and I think that that's why they made this decision to ignite or to insert him back with Luchasaurus, who was Kill
Switch. I like the way they did even the vignettes, the way they're doing. It's it's sometimes they're missing they're dropping the ball in the storytelling. And then sometimes it's like, that's okay. You're reintroducing. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
Right,
So, and I think that there is a ceiling for Jack Perry as well, because we talk about Darby Allin and we talk about Mark Briscoe. Like there's just a ceiling for these people.
Right. And they can flourish and be stars in that.
But you got to book them flawlessly in order to do that, right? Like, listen, they have a lot of value and lots to offer, but you would have to really, truly book them flawlessly to make that moment in the main event scene, like, very, very special. Like, this was organic. Like, this naturally, got to that point. But outside of that, I think for Darby Allin, for people like, for Jack Perry, and even for people like Mark Briscoe, like they are good, valuable talents, but there's just a ceiling with all of them. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's
sure. And there's this look, and I feel like, and some people have a hard time, like there's a ceiling for me. There's a ceiling for all of us.
All of us, right? Yeah, absolutely.
It just is what it is, man, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
So and so with that Jurassic Express. Orange Cassidy re-debuted or came back on Dynamite.
Yeah.
And I'll take these two gimmicks, right? The Jurassic Express and Orange Cassidy, which again, like Orange Cassidy, when he he was behind the the painting that
I actually thought that was funny.
No, really good. Yes. And I got at that it made me pop. I was happy to see Orange Cassidy.
Yeah.
But you're just going back, and Orange Cassidy is going to do the same shtick, and Jurassic Park is going to do the same thing.
Right. Yeah.
It's good, right? I see. It was a good little storytelling. You got Jurassic Park back together. Now, what are you going to do? Yeah. Cassidy's back. If it's just literally the same shtick, it's okay. Right? Give it a month and. Yeah, nobody cares.
It'll run its course. Yeah, it'll run its course for sure.
Who else? There was a couple other people I think that might have re-debuted.
Eddie Kingston's back.
Kingston's back. So I'm trying to say all this in totality of where AEW is right now, and just with the All Out and this past Dynamite. right? We know Swerve is out and Osprey and Omega is he's just never he's gonna be
he's
injured.
in and out.
He's an injured, guy.
Yeah. He's pretty much like he's in and out with the company the same way that Roman Reigns is with his schedule. Like, he's doing other projects outside of the AEW realm. So like, you can't really rely on a Kenny Omega. Like you said, with Will Ospreay, he's banged up. Swerve Strickland is banged up. Tony Storm is now taking time off. So, AEW is, So,
and you're in this moment now. It's sitting right there where, yes, you got these returning stars. Some of them, hit or miss. Is it, is going to work? Is it not? But I'll say this. Well, the Tony Storm Statlander decision, it's one of those that baffles me just because, right, we can see the pieces, but AEW, you have yet to take the time to tell that story.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Right.
You got Pac, Cassidy, Jurassic Express, Eddie Kingston back. Different things. FTR and Stokely. Oh man, let me get into this. Like this is really like I'm right. It's never gonna surpass the original. But if y'all wrestling fans back from that era, like, don't see the parallels between an Arn and a Tully and Heenan when they were in WWE, or a Midnight Express and Crockett, that's what this is, man. And it's fucking golden. And man, if y'all are missing it, fuck. Like, because it's good.
Dax is doing all this with a busted nose too.
Yeah,
you can see the tape on his nose. Yeah. So,
and I you might have to clarify a little bit of this for me because I'm not quite exactly sure what's happening since I'm just getting back in.
Yeah,
but I will say the MJF promo after the loss, fucking man, when he returns, that promo, that little vignette back there, that was fucking awesome.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And so where is he with the Hurt Syndicate? I might be out of the loop.
That's the thing. They haven't really, like, MJF and the Hurt Syndicate for the past couple of weeks have pretty much been separate since like the whole departure. So maybe that's the next.
And
chapter.
I don't when he comes back, he's not going to be with the Hurt Syndicate at this point. I'm assuming.
No,
by the way he cut the promo and what he was saying, but that was fucking fire, man. That's the MJF we want. Absolutely.
Right. Yeah, for sure. So I don't know if he'll be starting an actual feud with the Hurt Syndicate when he comes back, maybe collecting receipts and taking receipts of people that he has had a disservice with or something like that. But no, I mean, listen, MJF is great. I mean, we talk about MJF. Yeah. He turns everything. He turns shit into gold all the time. But I mentioned again, it was bound to happen because MJF just got married, so he might be going off into his honeymoon now, and he's going to be out for a while, and he's going to come back. And when MJF comes back, dude, after that promo we just cut, it's going to be pretty interesting. Absolutely. So,
so I say all that to say in totality, where like AEW, man, I said it a couple weeks ago, you are sitting right now with the fucking golden opportunity to snatch this shit from WWE. Like, don't fucking kick in the door. Don't ask permission. Don't change your time slot. Fucking snatch it, dude. And though these people, they're in your company. They are there right now. Yeah.
100%. And I'll end things with this as far as this episode is concerned. But there were new titles that were introduced also this past Wednesday, man. And this is the issue as far as AEW is what we know what they can do. But it's decisions like this. So where now you insert women's tag titles into your company when you already have trios titles, tag titles, a TNT title.
No, I get. They don't have women's trios? I was getting ready to say, did they?
No, they don't have
women's trios titles before the tag?
Okay, no, they don't. Thank God they don't.
Well, that's coming eventually.
Eventually, but that's the problem, though, Brian. It's just that the answer to every single thing is just place more and more titles on people, and it just becomes more of just like a participation
unimportant.
trophy.
It doesn't mean
and it's
anything.
unimportant, and it's not prestigious.
Yeah,
when you have
yeah.
all of these championships, and we say this about WWE. I said this when they introduced new mid-card championships. I'm like, okay, great. It's going to give them maybe more of a spotlight for some of these ladies that maybe, that they could use, right? But under the same booking, what is going to be the difference? The answer,
Right.
it's not going to be any. And with the amount of ladies that you have, I mean, Brian, off the top of your head, who could you see holding on to these titles? I mean, maybe like what could sound badass,
Well,
honestly.
I was going to say, but you just made her your world champion, Harley Cameron and Statlander.
And Statlander, that could work eventually. I don't know if they're a pairing right now, but if they could be a pairing, I think that sounds pretty cool. Megan Bayne and Marina Shafir, like those two together, I think could be really cool, right?
Dude,
and that's
yeah, bro.
Again, I'm still waiting for something to latch on to for Megan Bayne. Maybe being her being in a team with somebody, maybe that could work, right? You have Athena, and I'm forgetting this other female from ROH that she usually teams with.
I know who you're talking about.
I'm drawing a blank. I apologize. But the problem is, and then we talk about all these other ladies, and maybe we can go down the line.
Julia Hart and
frickin' Sky Blue, I guess.
Sky Blue,
both of those two maybe can go after tag championships. So again, at the end of the day, yes, could it be a bigger spotlight on these ladies? Absolutely.
Right.
But with the same amount of booking, right? With the same amount of booking, is it gonna make a difference? The answer is it's not. And as far as the AEW product is concerned, is this really needed to introduce new championships? Is this going to be what's going to help the product? The answer is it's not going to. And the problem with AEW, and I'm going to say this until the cows come home, right? There is a lot of things to latch onto with this company. There is.
Yeah.
But the problem is, Brian, is that when you watch an AEW Dynamite show, right, and you run through FTR and you run through freaking an MJF or a Tony Storm or whatever the case is, and in your head you're thinking, oh, there was some good in this show, but they don't give you a reason to watch the following week. Right. They don't give you a reason to where I need to watch this next week. That's the problem. And is introducing new championships the answer to that, to book your women properly? And I'm sorry, Brian, it's not the answer, because WWE is doing the exact same thing in their company. They're introducing all of these new championships, and we're thinking that it's going to give them the rub. It's going to give them the spotlight and do all of these cool, extraordinary things. But with the same amount of booking that you're already doing and how you're conducting business, it's not going to help you. It's not going to help you get back to where AEW used to be. When they started, they were over 1 million in their flagship show at AEW Dynamite. And let's not bullshit ourselves. As much as we do want to see AEW succeed, and we are all rooting for AEW, but they have lost half of their audience in a 6-year freaking span on their flagship show.
Yeah.
And once again, and I'll send this off to you, Brian, is introducing more and more and more and more titles the answer? It's just the answer. It's not, man. It's not going to work. It's just not. So what are your final thoughts, Brian?
I'll leave it with this, man. And it's crazy how, especially in the last couple episodes, man, it kind of always, at least with me, it comes back full circle to where we started, right? Look at the society we live in. Like I equate this almost to like the participation trophy, culture, like WWE, AEW, whatever. It's as if we got to create these titles because the title is going to make you care about this person. It's going to make them a superstar.
Yeah.
And you got it fucking backwards, man. Like the IC title. I'm just going to go with that in the WWE.
Sure. Yeah.
Why is that title so prestigious? Why was that title so important? And if you got it, it meant something. Because the Macho Man held it, and Mr. Perfect, and Shawn Michaels, and Razor Ramon. Because they had to elevate their game to get to that.
Yes.
We didn't create, or they didn't create a title to say, hey, you can't quite get there, so we're going to give you this
Give
one,
you
and
a
now you're
title.
going to be a star.
No, it's not how it works.
No, it's not just AEW. It's it's culture. This is what we're doing.
This is what we're doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%, man.
Yeah.
It's so look, man. I mean, again, to wrap this all up into a bow as we'll end things here, man. Again, AEW All Out. I mean, we talk about who was the better show, WrestlePalooza or AEW All Out. I mean, AEW All Out won by default. I mean, because WWE didn't even bother even showing up. They wanted to just collect.
Bro.
Honestly,
Facts.
I mean, they just win by default. So
yeah, they just say, "Oh, we spent $5 billion on this. It's going to be good. It's got to work, right?"
Absolutely,
No,
for sure.
no.
So look, AEW All Out again. There was a lot of good moments. There was a lot of good booking decisions. But again, on top of that, you have not so good moments and not many good booking decisions. And that's the thing about AEW. They have so much to offer. They book their talents accordingly for how the talent is portraying themselves. But every single flagship show on a Wednesday night, there is never really a need that you're giving your fan base to watch the next week. And if you need any proof, Brian, you just look at the numbers as far as what AEW Dynamite pulls every week. And since they've started, they've just lost people. And look, they're moving into smaller venues as they should. They're starting, from the ground up as they should. But eventually, man, like at some point, because WWE has made it crystal clear that they're on your ass and they want you out of business because they don't like the fact that you guys surpassed WCW as one of the longest reigning shows on TNT and TBS, right? So they're out for y'all. So at some point, man, these are decisions that Tony Khan, when he introduces new tag championships, he's gonna have to look himself into the mirror and say, is this truly what's needed in my company? What is really going to stand out as far as what letting people watch on a weekly basis? And at least for my answer, at least to make things better, is you insert more cliffhangers, right? The storylines have to be more consistent. The shows overall, they do flow better, but improves things with your women's division, with these people and that people, but give people a reason that they need to tune in. It's just like, oh, it was a good show, it was decent, but there's really nothing for you to need to watch the following week. That's AEW's problem, and that's what AEW at the end of the day has to figure out. Will they? I hope so. I truly hope so, because everybody that's preying on AEW's downfall, understand this, folks. If we want to make professional wrestling anything close to what it used to be, the more that AEW sticks around, the better professional wrestling is going to be. So all of this tribal, so that's why, Brian, I can never stand all of this tribalism, all of this, being on WWE side of things, AEW side of things. When AEW is putting on good television and a good product, it's better for all of us fans because it actually puts WWE, their backs up against the wall to produce a better product for all of us. And that's just what it's about, right? And, who knows what's going to happen moving forward, but I really want this to work for AEW. But the only person that can look themselves in the mirror and truly get things the way they want it to be, it's Tony Khan. Will he?
Yeah.
Time will only tell. But
let me close with these two things because it's regarding what you're saying, and I'll go back to that MJF promo that he left and now he's gone.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And what you're talking, it's the consistency of it. Like I'd have to go back to my era, right? And Stone Cold. I'm just going to put MJF, Stone Cold, right? Obviously not the same people, but follow me here. Mm-hmm. What that promo, right? That MJF cut and then he's gone. That was fucking fire, man. That is good, and he is good. He is fucking fantastic
for sure.
So, somebody like that, when he comes back, barring an injury or some health thing or whatever, why is he not on your show every Wednesday? Like he has to be at this point.
Yeah.
Like whatever it is, we need to see MJF. And granted, right, I'm not saying like run it like Vince did and whatever.
Yeah.
But barring whatever, there's no health or rhyme or reason. You're just not writing them into the story. No.
Yeah.
Like Tony Storm has to be on there every Wednesday. MJF has to be on there every Wednesday.
The focal point of your shows. It's MJF, it's Tony Storm, it's those people. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So and I'll say that your point too, this is my last point. Sorry. Like, and I know you came up in the ruthless aggression era, and that's where we were. It's all you had.
Yeah.
From my perspective, yes, in my lifetime, the worst time to be a professional wrestling fan was when it was just WWE. That's the only thing there was. That was the fucking worst. But if y'all want that again, by all means.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So look, man, we'll just continue to see what AEW has in store as far as Wrestle Dream is coming up very, very shortly. And then there's a lot of other shows coming up in the near future. So obviously some more WWE content as well. Thankfully, no more Raw and SmackDown reviews. We're fucking done with that shit. But any new story wise, as far as WWE is concerned, we'll continue to update on that for you guys as well. And of course, always stay tuned for more episodes to come, because that is going to do it for today's episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, you guys see the banner down below. Make sure you guys follow us once again on Instagram and TikTok on social media. That is ruthless_talk. If you guys want to check out our podcast, we are available Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and right here on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit that notification bell so that way you do not miss a single episode that is published out every single Friday. And yes, occasionally your boy will upload a solo review if there is a WWE PLE to talk about. But on the other hand, every single Friday, make sure you guys stay notified for every single episode that gets published out. So thank you guys for always tuning in. Stay tuned for the Sports Corner review and stay tuned for more content to come. Brian, final thoughts before we end this show.
Got none. No final thoughts. Just your favorite asshole, Brian Thomas. We're out.
That's gonna do it for today's episode, everybody. My name is James Porcelli.
I'm Brian Thomas.
Until next time, there will be a next time. Your boys are signing off saying salute.
Peace out.
And take care, everybody. Top guys, we are out.
The skin is dry and pale, the pain will never fail, and so we go.